Hi, my name is Drew Conley. In 2022, I summited Pike's Peak solo, but things went very, very wrong. This is my story. So in May of 2022, I decided to take a trip to Colorado Springs, Colorado. And the reason for me going out there was twofold. So one, I really wanted to take time to rest, to reflect on my life. And two, I wanted to experience the beauty and the incredible nature of Colorado in a special way. And so I wanted to make an attempt to summit Pike's Peak. Day one on the trail went really well. The trail conditions were great. The weather was beautiful. I made it to bar camp with no problems. I overnighted there. Day two, got up early. I was on the trail by 4 a.m. But what I didn't understand was that even in the springtime, there's still quite a bit of snow and ice on the trail at the higher elevations. I'd been hiking for about 6 hours, and by my best guess, it was about 1,000 vertical feet from the summit. And unknowingly, I'd gotten off the trail because of the snow. I was crossing a particularly steep section of the mountain, and my feet came out from underneath me, and I slipped and I fell, and I started to slide down the mountain. In that moment, I really didn't know what to do. I could see that coming up on my left side was a rock that was exposed in the sun, and I thought if I could grab it, I could arrest myself and stop from sliding down the mountain. When I did that, however, I was moving so fast that immediately my arm snapped behind my head, and I dislocated my shoulder instantly. Fortunately, I was able to come to a stop, and I knew that I had a decision to make, and I had to make that decision very, very quickly. There is a visitor center at the summit of Pikes Peak, and so I decided that if I could get up and make it to the visitor center, I could get saved. So I stood up, I put my left trekking pole in my right hand, and very slowly, very painfully, step by step, I started to push for the summit. In that moment, my mind was so clear. It's one of the clearest moments I've ever experienced in my life, where everything, all the thoughts, all the noise, it just really moved into the peripheral. So I made it to the summit, and I got rescued, and the ambulance took me to the hospital, and doctors there reduced my shoulder, and I was sitting back in my hotel room that afternoon, and I knew that I had one more decision to make. For me, this trip was about rest. It was about reevaluating my life, and I felt like in some ways I'd lost that because of the accident and the injury. But I decided right then and there that I wasn't going to get mad at God. I wasn't going to get frustrated or felt I wasn't going to feel like I had lost this trip. And so I just by myself prayed in my hotel room, God, let your name be glorified through this whole situation. Psalms 46, 1-2 says, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, even though the earth be removed, though the mountains be carried in the midst of the sea. I soloed, summited Pikes Peak. I was by myself, but I wasn't alone that day. The Lord was with me the entire time. He sustained me through the fall and through the accident. He kept me alive at the summit and on the mountain, and he's the reason why I'm standing here today. And that's my story.